Hey, what's up guys? This is Justin Johnson, and today I've got my Smoothtalker right here, but I've also got a box over here which I'm about to open up in just a minute. If you've been watching my channel, you've probably seen this baby in action. This is the Smoothtalker model from Mervyn guitars out in South Africa. And this is one of the most innovative and unique acoustic electric guitar designs I've ever seen. I've gotten a lot of views and a lot of cool comments. People have been loving this guitar. So that makes me even more excited to show you what's in this box, which is the latest model from Mervyn guitars. It's a new Smoothtalker model. And well, I could talk about it or I could open the box. How about I pull out my ceremonial unboxing knife and cut into this baby. Let's get it on. Alright guys, about to check it out. And you know, when I did my unboxing video on the original Smoothtalker right here, a lot of people, everyone loved the sound of it. They loved the features of it, like the high fret access, you know, all of those different design elements. A lot of people love the body shape on this. I do too. But I think there's always this kind of like a demand that's out there for like a traditional body style. And so this is really the answer to all of those people who said, I love this guitar, you know, maybe I wish it looked a little more like what my concept is of a traditional guitar. And so this is really the answer to that demand. Let's check it out. Oh man, I love that. Look at that. Check that out. That is gorgeous. Almost had me cussing on my own unboxing video. Man, that looks so beautiful. God, it looks like the neck is just floating in midair. You know how it's connected internally to the body, but you see this channel carved in here. It's got that wooden border around it. It's got that nice, tasteful, you know, binding there on the edges. It's got that really signature, you know, that signature Smoothtalker bridge there. Man, that's gorgeous. And look at, I mean, again, the access to the high frets here is incredible. Wow. I'm gonna have some fun with this. All right, so everything about the Smoothtalker guitars are basically designed from the ground up to be an acoustic electric, and that's really one of the philosophies, I guess you could say, behind these Smoothtalker guitars. And it's what makes them so special. It's what makes them feel so good when you're playing them. And it's what makes them sound so good when they're plugged in. So I'll go into a lot of the details about like the modular design, the like the signature bridge design, all of that in just a second. But I think one of the most important things is, you know, what's it sound like? That's like the most important thing. And so let me plug it in really quick and play a little music on it. I love it. You know, it's so controlled. And again, when you play this guitar and especially when you plug it in and you hear the way it reacts through the pickups, through, you know, I've got an acoustic amp right here, the Fishman Loud Box, and I'm kind of blending it with the acoustic qualities in the room with this mic. It just gives you everything that you want out of an acoustic electric guitar specifically. Not only is it super easy to play physically, like the balance is great in your lap. Again, when you're playing it up and down the neck, it does not feel like an acoustic guitar. It feels like a really comfortable, really well-designed electric guitar, which makes it easier to play lead lines. It makes it easier to chord, and, you know, to fret chords. And when you're playing, you know, at like the 14th, 15th, 16th fret, it honestly feels like you're down here on the fretboard. You're not fighting a cutaway. You know, there is like nothing in your way up here. It's just amazing. The response also with the tone is so even from the lowest frets to the highest frets. You get the same tone with bass and treble response all up and down the fretboard. And tonally, you know, that's what these guitars were designed to do. They were designed to be acoustic electric guitars. They were designed to give you like a tone and a freedom of playing that normally you would never get out of an acoustic instrument. And so even though they're designed really, again, to be plugged in, it's actually got an amazing acoustic projection too. And the OM model, again, this is the OM model. This is the original Smoothtalker model. I think this one actually has a little bit deeper projection, and maybe it's because there's a bigger sound cavity, you know, that basically fills this entire area, as opposed to the oval area on the Smoothtalker right there. But let me hear it. I'm going to put the mic here, and this will just be the sound of this guitar acoustically in the room. Just awesome. You know, it's got a nice treble response. Again, the mids, it just kind of punches out there. It sounds a lot like some of those guitars that were designed to play like in that Django Reinhardt style. It's got a nice mid cut, but there's still enough bass there to where you get like an articulate bass response in the lower strings. But I really think the standout quality of this instrument is the playability of it. It's almost like it plays itself. It's really incredible. And a large part of the reason for that is in the modular design. Again, the philosophy behind Mervyn Davis guitars with both Smoothtalker models is really this concept that the form, although they look beautiful, they look like pieces of artwork. I mean, they are. They're kind of like wooden sculptures. The philosophy is really that the form follows the function. So there's nothing you see on these guitars that basically isn't there for a reason, whether it's playability or sound or just making the guitar very easy to adjust or you know, modify in some way. For one, the design is completely modular, so you can take the entire back off of this guitar to, you know, access the electronics inside, make adjustments to the neck. If I wanted to, let's say, adjust the angle of the neck and move it more like that, let's say to raise the action for slide, or if I wanted to, you know, adjust it back to lower the action, make it a little faster to play. Normally, this would be an adjustment you could only make with the truss rod, which adjusts like the bend of the neck. But on this guitar, you can actually keep the truss rod where it is and adjust the entire pitch of the neck using shims down here. So there's a shim right here. If I were to loosen a nut in here, I could add or take away shims, and that would, again, change the pitch of the entire neck, making adjustments incredibly easy and really more versatile than any other acoustic guitar that I've seen. Also, the fact that it has solid wood sides, like thicker wood than you would see traditionally on any acoustic guitar, and a solid wood back, you get a lot of sustain from these elements and feedback resistance. So they're designed to be, you know, play like electrics. They're resistant to feedback like electrics, or like a, you know, thick-walled semi-hollow body. But again, they sound like acoustics. They sound super smooth. I guess that's why they're called Smoothtalkers. but it really is a great name for these plugged in because they don't have 90% of the issues that you get when you're playing an acoustic electric on stage. Whether you understand the engineering behind this, the good thing is you don't have to understand any of it in order to get killer tone from this guitar. It's just a beast. I love it. God, it responds so good to your touch. That's one of those things you can hear it, but until you play one of these, especially plugged in, you just can't appreciate how much this guitar sort of gives back to you when you're playing it. And I think, just playing it that time and listening to it, it has so much sort of body to the bass without getting boomy. And that's one of those things. I love bass when I'm doing fingerstyle because I want there to be this strong sort of low presence. But it gets so woofy sometimes if you have to like crank the bass up if there isn't enough in the actual guitar. And the thing is, like, and I think it's because the soundboard is so freed up on the design for these Smoothtalker guitars, is that it just sort of has a loose feel to it where it's very articulate in the low end and the low mids, but it's not woofy, it's not boomy, and it doesn't like get out of hand and sound unbalanced. Another design element that I just absolutely love is the bridge design right here. So you can see the strings, they start right down here at the tailpiece, and they go over the bridge. A lot of times with this kind of design where you have a tailpiece, you would have a floating bridge that moves, and it would have to be pretty high off of the soundboard in order to get enough of a downward angle to put pressure on the soundboard. But this is just an ingenious design. It's really fascinating. So you actually have a double saddle. You have a saddle back here before it gets to this, which is like a compression bar. And then it has another saddle that is an intonated saddle. You can see the carvings in it. And so instead of having a strong break angle to get enough downward pressure on the bridge, there's two screws right here on this compression bar. The strings go through the 6 holes on that bar, and you can adjust that with an Allen wrench basically and push those strings either harder or softer on the saddle. And so basically what that allows you to do, which is incredibly cool, is control how much brake angle and how much downward pressure there is on the saddle. If there's more pressure, you get a different tone and a different response. And so you can actually control the tone of the guitar and how much sustain it gets based on how much downward pressure you're putting with that compression bar. Well, since I've got these two models, the original Smoothtalker and the new OM version, I thought it'd be cool to play both and kind of get a comparison between the tone of them. So let me do that. I'm gonna play the same song on both guitars. You know, it's amazing that as different as these guitars look aesthetically, to me they feel and sound so similar. It's incredible because, I mean, you look at them and they're totally different designs. Even the sound cavity inside is different. And I think what that really does to me is that it shows how this design is very consistent. When you loosen that soundboard up and you have this bridge design and you use the same electronics and the same building techniques, it's so consistent. It's actually kind of blowing my mind that these two guitars have such a similar tone and a similar feel. Well, hey, thanks for watching, you guys. I want to thank Mervyn Davis Guitars for one, inventing these beautiful instruments, and for two, sending them out to me so that I could share them with you guys. Before I go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so that you get an alert whenever I post a new video. And see you next time.